Hello everyone, and thank you for being with us tonight at Hope in the Heart of Portland. It's so great to be together, even if we can't do it in person. For the last few months, I've been the only staff member going into Maybelle Center. It's eerily quiet as I walk through the community room when it's empty. I miss seeing the familiar faces. I miss the smell of popcorn on movie Fridays. I miss hearing members talk about what music they want to listen to in the community room. And I certainly miss seeing games of skip-bo and people putting puzzles together. So every day when I drive to work, as I get a little bit closer, I find myself scanning each pedestrian for a familiar face. Often I don't see anyone I recognize, but the other day I really felt like I had won the lottery. I was overjoyed to see Michael, one of our members who used to visit the community room nearly every day before the pandemic. He was crossing the street right in front of me as I waited at a traffic light. Now, what is so surprising to me and why I wanted to share this story is that I still see Michael nearly every week in our virtual community room. He's there with others, we're talking, sharing stories. Michael can remember facts like no one I've ever met, and I always love our conversations. It feels a bit like old times, except it's on Zoom. But I realized in that moment when I saw Michael right there in front of me that the virtual community room just is not the same thing. It's not the same as being together. When I saw him, I realized how much I missed seeing him and all the other members in person. So it didn't matter that there were people behind me at the traffic light. I took a minute, rolled down the window, and let Michael know I saw him. I yelled hi to him, and he yelled back, "Oh, hi, Shell." And it was just like old times. The recognition on his face was priceless, and it was so great to not have it be from behind a mask or a video screen. That's one of the things I love most about Maybelle Center, is people seeing each other, really seeing each other. All of this physical distancing is truly the antithesis of Maybelle Center's mission. The smiles, the high fives, the hugs, they're all part of what we do. When the pandemic hit, many businesses and organizations scrambled to deliver their service remotely, just like we did. As I mentioned, we have a virtual community room now, we have virtual choir, we're making lots and lots of phone calls. And I know that during the early days, Zoom was even this great new communication tool. It was wonderful to see staff faces during a staff meeting again, or connect with friends across the country, or even just in Portland. But what happens when you don't have a computer or internet access, as is the case with many of our members? What happens when you don't have a cell phone? We found out very early that a cell phone is a lifeline for our members. It helps them connect to one another. It helps them stay in touch with family. It helps if they need to call for an emergency service. So we quickly rolled out a technology loaner program and helped alleviate some of the tech difficulties that our members were facing. Our program staff and our volunteers worked hard to come up with other creative ways to stay connected. Celeste goes and picks up Meals on Wheels and delivers those to members who used to pick them up in our community room each week. Other staff members and volunteers send personalized cards and letters each week to our members. But connecting with members does remain challenging. Some figured out really easily how to work Zoom, and some attend the virtual choir or the virtual community room. And staff still send letters and calls each week. But sometimes weeks may go by without a response. And then suddenly we might bump into a member in the neighborhood and we'll hear something like, "Oh, I love hearing from Paul and Judy. They call me each week and I get their messages. They're the only ones who call me." So it's the little things that remind us that we're not going through this alone, and we have to remain hopeful. So each day I do make a choice to stay hopeful. Hopeful for each of us to show what Father Burke spoke of, human kindness, care, and compassion. Stay hopeful for a time where each of us can be seen and heard and valued. I'm hopeful for a future where each of us is contributing our skills and talents for a more vibrant community. And that's why we're here tonight, to reconnect with one another and disrupt the social isolation that many of us face, especially during these extraordinary times. In a few minutes, you're going to hear a story about how a few of our members are also remaining hopeful and supporting one another and those around them. My hope tonight is that their project becomes a source of inspiration for you and motivates us all toward a future where everyone feels connected and like they matter, whether it be in the Maybelle Center community or in the neighborhood wherever you are. Thank you.